CBN chief political analyst David Brody is joining us now. David, have you found evidence that somebody actually planned this demonstration? Did it come from the top?
Well, here's the evidence. Dick Durbin actually saying it when asked in the Judiciary Committee hearing. He actually said, yeah, we had a phone call. Chuck Schumer on the phone call, along with Dick Durbin, the two top Democrats in the Senate, and a lot of these advocacy groups on the left. So this was coordinated. It was funny, Pat, when I was watching this hearing, which, by the way, kind of felt like a Jerry Springer show run amok without the flying chairs. There were no flying chairs. But beyond that, it felt like a Jerry Springer show. But I have to tell you that the protests were coming like eventually once every 10, 12 minutes, eventually through the hour and a half or so in that first hour and a half. So this was coordinated, not even a question. I mean, there were some folks dressed up in this Netflix show, or it's not Netflix, it's some sort of show, The Handmaid's Tale. You know, we're talking about, anyhow, the point is that it was out of control. And this is all Democrats can do at this point because they can't stop Kavanaugh. They don't have the votes.
Well, what's the deal? I mean, what does this show to the American people? Do these people who are running for president actually think it's going to enhance their chances?
Yeah, they do. Kamala Harris, Cory Booker, both expected to run for president. Cory Booker saying the word traversed. I traversed the country. It was like it was his nomination speech at the convention. I mean, that's what it sounded like in the Judiciary Committee hearing. As a matter of fact, he actually sent out a fundraising email while the confirmation hearing was going on, which Ben Sasse, senator on the Republican side, took him to task for that and said, how dare you? You don't go fundraising during a committee hearing. So this was all coordinated. There's been talk, by the way, Pat, I want to clear up something about the Senate rule that Democrats could have walked out, or at least at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. There's a Senate Rule 26 that basically says if the majority leader and the minority leader don't come to an agreement, then there should be no committee meetings after 2 p.m. Technically, that's true. Technically, the Democrats could have said there is no agreement. We're gonna be done. A Senate Judiciary Committee spokesman told me just this morning that if they had done that, Grassley would have just continued on Wednesday with the hearing, and there would have been no opening statements at all for Democrats. So Democrats had to choose. They could have stopped the hearing, but they wouldn't have had any of their opening statements. So clearly soliloquies were more important than anything else. So
the truth is they can't really block the confirmation of this splendid man. And it's just strictly for show. But again, is their base happy with these shenanigans?
Well, the base is happy, but that's an asterisk happy. In other words, they're glad that the Democrats did something, but quite frankly, there's a liberal wing, as you know, of the Democrat Party that wanted these Democrats to walk out. But a Senate Judiciary Committee spokesman also told me today that, indeed, if Democrats decide to walk out and play all their shenanigans and stop the hearings, it doesn't matter because technically there doesn't need to be a hearing, and Grassley could just take the whole thing right to the Senate floor, and that would be that.
Well, they've got to have is the rule they have to have a vote of the Judiciary Committee before they take it to the floor of the Senate? Is that
no.
what? Yes.
Technically, no. What I've been told by the Senate, no. What I've been told by the Senate Judiciary Committee is that technically, and once again, we're into arcane Senate rules, but technically, they can take this thing right to the floor if they need to, Pat.
The governor of Arizona has appointed a guy who I've known. He's a splendid senator, John Kyle. To fill out the term of the late Senator John McCain. He will be a reliable vote for the Kavanaugh, won't he?
He will, and we knew John McCain would vote for Kavanaugh, and obviously Kyle's going to vote for Kavanaugh, but here's the difference going forward. John Kyle has about a 96% conservative rating from the American Conservative Union. John McCain had about an 82%, so you're getting a more conservative Arizona senator. That'll bode well for the Trump administration. Obviously, that'll bode well for conservatives overall, so there's that at play, too. But let me just say one last thing about the Kavanaugh hearings, because it really has become the Kavanaugh hearing. hearings for the Democrats. I mean, and once again, they don't have the votes. Just to be clear, what everybody needs to watch now is there a smoking gun, which doesn't appear there is any smoking gun out there, and whether or not Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski, the two pro-choice senators, go ahead and somehow decide to go with the Democrats. There's no indication that's going to happen at all. So at this point, and quite frankly, Pat, even if they did side with the Democrats, and no one's expecting that, you got the red state Democrats. In other words, the Joe Manchin in West Virginia and Joe Donnelly in Indiana and Heidi Heitkamp in North Dakota, all Democrats that are in red states that Trump won. I have to tell you, they've got some pressure on them because it's all about self-preservation for them. If they vote for Kavanaugh, they'll have a better chance at re-election. They vote against Kavanaugh, and all bets are off.
It looks, what do you figure? They're talking October the 1st that they've got to get this thing done. Do you think there's any question? There's no question that the Senate won't vote for him, is there?
No, this is going to go on as scheduled. Once again, Senate Judiciary Committee sources telling me that Grassley is going to keep it moving Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, even if it has to go into the weekend. But they're going to get this thing done. And look, it's funny. The Democrats want all these documents. They already have 500,000 documents, but they want, I don't know, 100,000 more. And it's really interesting because they already pretty much are saying they're going to vote no on Kavanaugh. So why do they want 100,000 more documents? To really vote no? I mean, it just doesn't make any sense to me, Pat.
David, thank you very much for that insight.